Hey guys, so it's Coach Ben Lee here checking in. This is our first week of our Wednesday weekly updates. So tips and tricks, strategies, proven methods, all to help you guys get better results and faster results. So like an education sort of thing. So I'm glad you clicked in. Each week we're going to try and delve into some subjects that often I find that my clients are struggling with, or ask some of my clients to also, pass me on some content to help you guys out. So this week was gluten-free foods and raw foods was one of the questions that I've been asked. So gluten-free, look, the studies and the research that are out there now, like, a lot of people don't know what gluten is. Okay, so gluten is obviously a protein peptide that's found in wheat. Okay, and once upon a time, wheat is not what it used to be. So this peptide that's found now in wheat is wreaking havoc. Okay, not just necessarily celiacs, but it's people that are starting to develop gluten insensitivities and stuff like that. And there's a lot of research out there. There's a lot of studies out there. If you want to know more, just send me an email, and I can flick you some studies and things like that are out there. I did find something interesting though, that obviously on my studies, reading up on gluten and things like that as well, is that obviously you don't have to be celiac. Okay, so you can have a gluten insensitivity. Gluten can slow down your brain cognitivity. I did hear a colleague of mine say to me that the McLaren F1 racing team actually was they have now on a contract that their drivers are no longer allowed to engage in eating gluten foods because it slows down their ability to manage those cars as fast as they can. So I just thought that's pretty cool. I'm on the search to try and find that statement, but even if it's somewhat true, which I imagine it would be, then it's pretty cool. But with raw foods, guys, like staying away from these types of things. Now, like I'm not like going to sell you that you have to stay away from this food. Like, to be honest, Monday to Friday, my diet is 90% heads on pretty much all the time, because obviously food for me allows me to function at a higher capacity. Having gluten in there, I know personally that I feel bloated. Okay, so you can't tell me that if I'm having something like that and I'm feeling bloated and gassy, then, and I've nailed it down to that, if I incorporate something like that in my diet, then that's causing me discomfort. Then you can't tell me that that is not having some sort of effect on you. Okay, so if you're being like a diet detective, like I try to be with most of our clients, is if you're starting to eradicate or sort of take foods in and out, and you're noticing these types of symptoms, then necessarily you want to take that food out, or you want to go get a food intolerance test done to find out exactly what it is. Okay, so that you're no longer having to incorporate these foods in your diet. If you're causing inflammation, then it's going to cause a lot of harder for you to get results. Point and prove, and one of my long-term clients got a food intolerance test done: sweet potatoes, mushrooms, and tomatoes. Causes him inflammation. Wondered why we couldn't get him below 10%. We found that out. Now he's starting to drop a lot easier. Previous to that, we were pumping in the sweet potato because sweet potatoes are good food. But if you have some sort of intolerance to it, okay, it wasn't a reactive, instant sort of response. But when you're trying to get down to these lower ends of your body fat measurements, or you're trying to step on stage, these types of things, these are the little things that make it that little bit difficult. Okay, and then so instead of looking at your food, what people would be looking at is, all right, let's increase my cardio, let's increase my output, let's drop calories. Okay, so instead of looking at what could be possibly stopping, because if you're looking at your your plan of attack of what you're doing, your calories should be your baseline. If you're starting to have to cut down calories to try and get that, okay, you want to sort of figure out why. Okay, is it because your body's not managing your carbohydrates as effectively as possible, or was there some sort of hormonal imbalance? Very common in girls. That's why when girls start using T3 hormones and stuff like this as competitors, they're going to see themselves unravel quite quickly. So what you want to look at there is, let's go get some sort of hormonal test done. If you're getting your hormones test done, that needs to be every needs to be on the week of your follicular cycle. If it's not, then it's going to be inaccurate. You're not going to get a true indication of your progesterone and estrogen. Back to what I was talking about, a couple of bit off topic there, was raw foods. Okay, so obviously raw foods, guys, the more micronutrients we're getting in our diet, the more we're going to support our hormonal pathways within our body. Okay, so you've got macronutrients, proteins, fats, and carbs, but then we've got our micronutrients, so our minerals, our vitamins, and things like this. So it's very important that we're getting a variety of foods, okay, in our diet. Okay, and this is going to help support our hormones within our body so that we can be the healthiest versions of ourselves, and therefore then we'll be one of those wankers or bitches, okay, that can seem to look fabulous all year round. You know, everybody knows one, everybody has a friend like that. So guys, next topic that I wanted to discuss about, which I was asked, was xenoestrogens and hormonal balances. Okay, so xenoestrogens, for you guys that don't know, I'll just quickly touch on the subject. Okay, I'll try to keep this pretty short. So xenoestrogens is a chemical usually that enters the body, okay, and then it reacts like it is an estrogen. So then we start to see excess estrogen or estrogen dominance within the body. Okay, so studies and things show now, so bisphenol A, so BPA products, so this is found in plastics to harden them, and when these plastics, they leach from those things into our foods or into our water. Then when they enter the bloodstream, they start to act as estrogen. So then we start to see an increase of estrogen within the body and a downregulation of the other hormones, because then we start to see this higher increase. So this is pretty common. What else have we got in there? So platelets that are found in your shampoos and your conditioners, these also enter the body and react as xenoestrogens as well. Another common one, okay, is contraceptive. Okay, so obviously now we've got a hormonal pill or implant on rod in there that is mimicking, okay, a hormone. If you've got an unbalanced system in there to begin with, and then you go and throw in another imbalance of another sort of steroid or hormone or anything like that, then it can possibly cause further weight gain and things like this. So when you've got PCOS and things like this, it may not be your best option. Okay, so we deal a lot with PCOS here and other hormonal issues. I do refer out to Dr. Price, who's a naturopath and a GP. So her take on hormonal imbalance is a little bit different to your normal GP. So if you want guys to contact me, I can send you over there with a referral. She's a wonderful lady, and she's helped over 20 of our clients so far just this year alone with gut imbalances, liver issues, hormonal imbalances, things that girls just have not been able to get on top of for a long, long time. Okay, guys, so I'm glad you checked in on this week's first weekly hangout. Stay tuned every Wednesday. I'm going to chuck it up so that you can learn and listen and get a lot of the information that I've learned over the past 6 years as a coach, and what helps my clients get fantastic results. All right, gotcha.